This is A's Cast Live, your comprehensive look at the Athletics.
Leaping at the wall, it's gone! A towering drive into center field by Rooker.
And 29 other MLB clubs.
A judging blast. All rise. Here comes the judge.
Swung on, hit high, hit deep to right, away back into the second deck.
Bobby Witt Jr. becomes the first shortstop in Major League history to have two 30-30 seasons.
Shohei Ohtani starts the 50-50 club.
Join us as we take you inside the baseball universe, from humidors to walk-off dingers to Hall of Fame talk. We have you covered. Spend your afternoon with us, only on A's Cast Live. Here's Chris Townsend.
Boy, do we got a good show for you today here on A's Cast Live. Bill Moriarty from Athletics Farm is going to be here, breaking down the farm system. Going to get an update on Denzel Clark. Looks like he's going on a rehab assignment on Friday. Then David Feldman, our A's historian, a top 10. Cody, what is the top 10 for today? Top left-handed pitchers in franchise history. Boy, we might have somebody who might be on that list sometime soon. Jacob Lopez is with us here on A's Cast Live to lead it off. First time we've ever had you on the program. Thank you for coming on. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Well, you got to be feeling pretty good. You know, when you've got 24 scoreless innings under your belt, the way you've looked like the last 11 starts, just talk about the progress that you've made through the season and the feelings that you're having through this progress.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a pretty long season, but just trying to, make the most out of every start, obviously. But, just keep pounding the strike zone is something that's really preached before every game. So if I could mix all 5 pitches, starting with the fastball, it just makes it pretty easy.
Let's think about where you've come from, right? You think like the last couple of years, you got a cup of coffee with the Rays, you get traded over here with Jeffrey Springs, and obviously you had to think you were going to get some type of opportunity. So when the trade was made and knew you're coming to the Athletics, what were your thoughts?
I was a little surprised, but just wanted to make the most of it. Like you said, there was a good opportunity, so I just had to keep working hard in the offseason because I think I got traded in December. So I was all right. I got a real shot at, having a good chance in the big leagues. So, just made the most out of it.
And when those shots come, sometimes we're going to give you a chance to start, and then we're going to bring you out of the bullpen. So it's tough to gain that routine. I think back to that game in Texas where you didn't have your feel, like where you were then to compared to where you are now, completely night and day.
Yeah. I mean, are you talking about the one in May or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Early one down in Arlington.
First start here. It was a tough one for sure. I mean, maybe it was just coincidental timing, but yeah, I've learned a lot this year, just really how to attack big league lineups.
Well, when I think about you and the way you pitch, to me, deception is your superpower. There's something the way you hide the baseball, then you're coming 3/4. Obviously, lefties don't see it for sure. Right-handers are not seeing it. I mean, the hitters tell you everything you need to know, whether they're barreling you up or not. Talk about your philosophy about pitching and going about getting hitters out.
For sure. I don't throw the hardest fastball, so and I have a unique delivery. So, but I still have that kind of go right at you mentality, right? Like I'm going to throw my fastball right away and see how the hitter reacts. Is he on it? Is he behind it? Then I kind of go off. All right, do we want to mix him up with off speed? So it's fun. I have five options I could throw at them. So I just that's the fun part of pitching for me.
So much of this game, and we don't talk about it too much with the guys who throw super hard because they're just trying to blow everybody away, right? We talk about huff and puff and blow it. You're reading hitters. You're reading their swings. That talk about that because we don't hear a lot about that anymore.
I also gear up all 91, 92 and try to throw by some guy sometimes.
But when you have deception, your 91 starts to look like 94, 95.
Yeah, I hope so. But, it's fun to be able to throw a fastball by someone when I can, but I can't do that all the time. So, I have to pay extra attention to how the swings look.
Now, the one thing that when you throw from where you are, sometimes you can get under the ball and not on top of the ball. Do you have checkpoints with your pitching about making sure you stay on top of the ball?
Yeah, with my mechanics, since I'm cross body and, lower arm slot, if things get out of hand, they could get out of hand pretty quickly and, arm side misses. So I just really have to figure that out early in the game. And like, you know, if I'm missing arm side really bad, do my best to like maybe go glove side and try to rehone like the strike zone. So
Yeah, because sometimes you can, unfortunately, sidewinders can kind of lose it pretty quick, and then all of a sudden it began. Because a key for you, like all pitchers, but such a key for you, we talked to Scott Emerson about this yesterday right here on A's Cast Live, was about you throwing strikes and winning, getting to 0-1, 0-2, 1-2, and how devastating you are. Talk about getting into those counts, and boy, how much that helps you.
Yeah, I think everyone that takes the ball and gets on the mound wants to throw strikes early, first pitch strikes, win 1-1s. So, I learned a cutter last year, and because, you know, the four seam honestly isn't in the strike zone too much. So I wanted a hard pitch on righties that could get in the strike zone more than the four seam. So I learned that pitch, and it's helped out a lot.
And I think about that for someone from where you're throwing it. How hard is it to do that? Because once again, and we don't want to get too much into getting around the ball versus on top of the ball, but you definitely have to be, if we're talking about slider, curveball, cutter, you have to stay on top of the baseball.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've thrown the same slider since I was, you know, young, 13 years old. I've never changed the grip. So I've got a really good feel for that pitch. But like, just like the cutter, it's something like every start to start, you know, I'm like tinkering within the bullpen a little bit with the preset, with the wrist and everything. So yeah, it's just another thing to work on.
You had a phenomenal outing here at the ballpark in West Sacramento against Philadelphia. And I just kind of noticed the confidence that you had. And then, you know, there was some time like after that, starts weren't as good. But now this stretch, yes, we can talk about release point. We can talk about getting ahead of hitters. But so much of this game is mental. What's different for you right now in this stretch where you haven't given up a run in 24 innings? And really, we can go back to the last 11 starts.
I mean, just it's really that simple as attacking hitters and making good pitches when I do get ahead in the count. But just trust what, you know, Shea and Willie throw behind the dish, you know, whatever pitch they call, and just go full conviction with it.
Oh, that is huge. You got to believe in what you're going to do, and you got to believe in your catcher. I'm glad you bring that up, because the one thing that we do know about Shea Langeliers, because everybody right now is talking about his ability to hit the baseball, and he's having a phenomenal year offensively. But the work that these guys do, they have to study a lot. They need to know the opposing hitters. They've got to know you. They got to know your strengths and weaknesses. So just talk about that trust in Shea Langeliers and his ability to study and what he brings from a standpoint of being behind the plate.
Yeah, there's not enough that could be said with what the guys do behind the dish. You know, they get here a few hours before the game and they're prepping how we're going to attack the lineup for every single guy, you know, and the staff, all 13 of us. So, I mean, I feel like they study the hitters more than we do, because they're the ones calling the pitches at the end of the day. So, yeah, those guys just, you know, the ultimate grinders.
You know, I think at the past 2 years in Tampa and then in the start of this year, you were probably one of those you never knew after each start whether you were going to be here or not. What does it mean to you now to know that no matter what, the way you're throwing the ball, you're here, you're not going anywhere, you're in this rotation?
I mean, I'm still not comfortable to that point. I think
well, you should be, because you're not going anywhere.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. Yeah, you got to be confident. I mean, my whole career, I was drafted in the 26th round, so I've always had that chip on my shoulder to, like, I got to be the best guy out there. So, yeah, just, you know, still outing till the season's over, and just do as best as I can.
All right, what is the best part of this season for you? Like the best part of being in the big leagues and knowing you're a big leaguer and you're in the big leagues?
Probably the team playing. It's really cool just to be able to hang out with the guys.
How much have you enjoyed pitching in this ballpark?
I mean, I felt like I don't want to jinx anything, but I pitched pretty well here. So, you know, it's just another ballpark.
Yeah, we try to tell people, it was like, oh, you can't pitch here. I'm like, what do you mean you can't pitch here? There's certain guys out there. Look at the way you know, when I think about Jeffrey Springs, another guy who's throwing the ball well here, when you look at a veteran guy, whether it's Springs, Severino, who is the guy you go to talk to and talk shop?
I mean, Sevy's good to talk to every now and then. I don't want to bug him too much, but I've been with Jeffrey for the past couple of years. Yeah. You know, he rehabbed in Durham for a month and spring training with the Rays. So he's a lefty. So he's, you know, a guy that I always try to go to, you know, pick his brain every day.
By the way, let's end on this. How good was it to do that against your former team last night?
Yeah, I mean, they put up 4 runs on me 2 months ago, so back in Tampa. So this one, it felt good. Just, you know, it's always nice competing against familiar faces. Well,
keep doing what you're doing, because we're going to talk a lot about you today, not only on this show, but on NBC. All of a sudden, look out. You're a part of this Rookie of the Year conversation.
I don't know about that.
I'm telling you, it's coming out. You know, obviously Nick Kurtz and Jacob Wilson. Just how does it feel knowing that your name is now being bantered about American League Rookie of the Year?
It's nice, but I'm not really focused at all. 0% about that. Just going to keep pitching.
Well, hey, thank you for coming on the program. We appreciate it. You're good to go, and
Awesome.
We look forward to having you again. Right. A lot more here on A's Cast Live, awesome. And then all the way through spring training and everything. You be well.
All right, thank you.
Jacob Lopez right here on A's Cast Live. You look what he's been doing. Absolutely fantastic. 24 scoreless innings. He's lowered his ERA to 3.30. It's been a lot of fun to watch. And, yes, the conversation, MLB.com just put out an article about rookies of the year. And, obviously, Kurtz is up there. Jacob Wilson is number 2. But in an honorable mention is now Jacob Lopez. And the Athletics, we could be talking about 3 guys in the top 10 for votes for Rookie of the Year. Oh, the superstar, I'm being told, has to go early. When Elvis enters the building, that you got to get him on. There's gonna be no pinball machine behind him. There's none of the. He's just here at the ballpark today. The great Bill Moriarty joins us here. Everything you do for us on A's Cast, and especially covering our minor league system, it's truly special. We are so lucky to have you, and we can't thank you enough.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that, and it's a pleasure to see your smiling face in person here on a rare day in Sacramento, Towny.
Yeah, it's been a while. Everything we've been doing is obviously on StreamYard. It's great to have you in person. We haven't done this in a while. Just, to let the fans know why do you do what you do? Why does it mean so much to you?
Well, I think, especially with an organization like the A's, you see, there's always young players coming up here now, right? I mean, there's always new guys coming. And I'm a person who's always interested in what's just percolating beneath the surface, what's on the way. And with the A's, you see that playing out all the time. So to me, I'm fascinated to see what's going on down there. And I realized that a lot of people are interested in that. And it's hard, to know what's going on in the farm systems all the time. It's not that easy. So I created my website, athleticsfarm.com, to kind of be a nice one-stop shop for people who are interested in the A's minor league system and the A's prospects. So they can easily check in and see what's going on, who's on the rise, who's coming. And doing the podcast for you here on A's Cast too, gives us a chance to talk to those people who are working with these players and developing these players, getting insights into, what it takes to get to the major leagues. And I think if you're a real serious fan, that's of interest to you.
Well, the whole world changed with Moneyball.
Oh, yeah.
Like all of a sudden, if before the book came out and then after the book came out, the interest in the organization and the minor league system was dramatically different. Like all of a sudden, everybody now wants to be an amateur GM. Everybody now wants
amateur scout.
Yeah, everybody's a YouTube scout now, and everybody knows. But really, yeah, the movie and the book not only changed our fan base, it changed business. There's business. There's schools of business that talk about Moneyball still to this day. Princeton, I know their business school still has a class about it. All the other sports, I remember, working in the NFL and the other sports, that you had presidents of these teams make their employees read Moneyball. Billy Beane has been on the speaking circuit for years, talking to all these different companies. Moneyball changed a lot of things, but it helped you, my friend.
Well, I'll tell you, it did generate a greater interest in what goes on behind the scenes in baseball, as well as the minor leagues, which was kind of typically behind the scenes. I was fortunate to get to know Billy Beane in 2002, the year Michael Lewis was following him around for Moneyball.
Did you think he would be a keynote speaker and make millions doing it?
It was hard to fathom. Who knew who the GMs were? GMs weren't superstars back then, and he made, he sort of created the GM superstar role. And I remember after it coming out, him telling me like, "Oh yeah, I'm getting paid to do all these speaking gigs on Wall Street to talk to all these companies."
Around the world.
Suddenly it's not just about baseball; it's a way of looking at things analytically, and seeing what you might have missed, and finding little advantages that other people have missed. So that really did change a lot of things. But I think what it did is what you brought up was it made people want to peek behind the curtain, to see behind the scenes and really dig in deep. And I think that made people think about, how do we evaluate prospects? What are we doing it right? Are we doing it wrong? What should we be looking at? What will indicate success? And before it was just, kind of instinct. I feel good about this kid.
He's got a good, clean stroke.
Yeah,
we played the Moneyball stuff.
He looks like a ball player.
Perez, he's one of our guys.
Ball explodes off his bat.
There you go. You can't get away with that so much anymore.
His girlfriend's a 6. What does that mean?
Bad
Means he's
sign,
got
no confidence.
I'm just saying, his girlfriend is a 6 at best.
Well, I actually remember when the book came out, I was reading it, and Billy Bean asked me to let him know what I thought about it. And I wrote him an email and I said, I think it's great. I mean, it's great what you're doing and everything, but I'm just worried that, a lot of people in the business are going to kind of resent you for this and maybe, want to make life difficult for you. And his response was basically something along the lines of, I couldn't care less what those dinosaurs think. I'm going to keep doing what I know is right. And we're going to beat them every single time. And I was like, that's the spirit I like to hear.
Well, Billy Bean has a lot of bravado, and you don't do what he did unless you have that bravado and you have that confidence. And that's why I do believe someday he will be in the Baseball Hall of Fame. Looking at our minor league system right now, Cody sent this out earlier that I just had it.
Oh, you're looking at the rankings?
Yeah, in Baseball America, we jumped massive.
Baseball America, the A's farm system is ranked number 8.
Okay.
MLB Pipeline, the A's farm system is ranked number 14.
And it's gone. 8 is way up.
Oh, yeah. Well, for MLB Pipeline, it had been 21, went up to 14. I can't remember what Baseball America had it, but it is up to 8. So, and if you consider all the prospects, we've just graduated to the big league club. Normally, your minor league system would be bare at that point, but we've still got them there. And the top 3 guys that are doing that are Leo DeVries, who they acquired from the Padres, Jamie Arnold, who they just drafted, and then, of course, Gage Jump, who's had a phenomenal season. Those 3 guys right there are in the top 60 of MLB Pipeline's prospects. So you've got 3 guys in the top 60 right there, which really make the farm system look strong right off the bat. And then they've got guys backing it up too. Our friend Henry Bolte is at Vegas, and he's hitting now. I think he's hitting 317 in Vegas. Not far away. We could be seeing him right out here in left field before long. You never know.
There's people who've never seen Henry Bolte, and I talk about him all the time. You wait. He looks like an NFL free safety, but he has the face of a 12-year-old.
It's true.
And he's going to show up and he's going to amaze people because he's going to be, I think he's going to be incredible. I think he's going to, he has shown you he's got it.
And it's great to see the speed that he has for such a big man, too. I mean, he's only been in Vegas for a couple of weeks. He's already stolen half a dozen bases. I think he has the second most stolen bases in the system this year. And just to see a big, strong guy like that with the speed, too, is really impressive.
No doubt about it. When you talk about Gage Jump and you look at Luis Morales has incredible stuff. Mm-hmm. Now, is he going to be able to harness that right away? I don't know. I mean, it's going to take time, right? We saw at Baltimore. It was his first start. He was a little wild.
Yeah, a little bit.
No question. Who do you think is more a polished pitcher? Is it Jump or Morales?
Well, it's definitely, if you put it that way, as a polished pitcher, it's Jump. I mean, he has the command. He can control his pitches. He does know where the ball is going. I mean, that's the big difference. And Gage Jump, this is his first full season in pro ball. He's still got an ERA under 2 pitching in Double-A in his first full season. And, he's only given up 3 home runs all season, too. I mean, there's nothing, you can't find a flaw in his game, And Luis Morales, his stuff is amazing. He's got velocity. You saw the movement on his pitches. Some of those are just, moving all over the place. But he's not even sure where they're going all the time, So, but he did make a big improvements in his command in the minor leagues this season. I think he was probably a little nervous, that first start out here. But seeing him show improved command this season in the minors gives me hope that, it's possible. It's there. And if he can harness that stuff, he's got incredible life on his pitches. So for now, Gage Jump is more polished, but, if Morales can get it together and show that command, I mean, his stuff is overpowering.
The 2 guys got from the Padres, Double-A, Baez and Net. Braden Net is the one that a lot of people think is the guy that could be here. But out of Net and Baez, what do you think we'll see from them?
Net just won his first game for Midland just the other night, by the way. And, they're 2 very different pitchers. Braden Net has really good stuff, but he can be a little inconsistent. He's had some injuries, but he's got, good fastball, good curveball, good slider, good changeup. He's got a great repertoire, but he can be a little inconsistent, and he has had the injuries. Henry Baez is more of a, just kind of a stable workhorse guy. He's not going to overpower you. Henry Baez might be more of a JP Sears type of pitcher. I mean, just a solid, regular guy, that isn't going to overpower you. Hopefully he'll be even better than that. He was leading the Texas League with best ERA in the Texas League when the A's got him from the Padres. So, he was pitching pretty darn well there in Double-A. So both those guys are real arms. They did get some real arms in this deal on top of a top prospect like DeVries. So, I think if you look at recent A's deals, this one really stands out. I mean, nobody thought the Padres were going to deal DeVries, So
well, did you see, was it 2 days ago we had Forrest on, or was it yesterday?
Yeah.
2 days ago. Did you see that?
I did see that.
And it was
he didn't think he was going to get DeVries.
Well, AJ Preller wasn't offering.
Yeah.
Wasn't offering. It was like, well, you want Mason Miller. And obviously now they have a long relationship.
Yeah.
They used to play basketball against each other, as assistant general managers. So Preller and Forrest have a long relationship, kind of a buddy-buddy relationship. So you could see how relationships work.
Yeah.
And Preller wanted to make this just, kind of give me Mason Miller. And it's like, no, we're going to need more than just DeVries.
Right.
And then, so you could see how, in the end, this could be, hey, listen, Mason Miller, love him to death.
Sure.
He may help lead. I mean, the Padres now are in first place after their win against the Giants. We'll see what happens with the Dodgers and Angels tonight. But, Mason Miller and the Padres may win the World Series. And you know what? All the power to him. And JP Sears, we love him to death. But this DeVries kid, what he could be long term. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully David Forrest knew AJ Preller well enough to know how to play poker with him, and he got what he wanted when no one thought you could get a prospect like that. And when you've got the opportunity to get a prospect like that, it's rare, and you got to grab it. Look, the Padres are going for the whole shooting match this year. Makes sense for them to do that.
Yeah.
The A's aren't going to do that this year, but, we're building for a near-term successful team, and this deal helps them do that. I mean, they've got a bunch of guys in that deal that will help them do that. So, I think it was a steal. I mean, we hate to lose guys like we lost, but in the long run, it's definitely going to benefit the team. And Forrest played his cards right with AJ Preller in this one.
So we're always asking for a comp. Who do you think really is the comp for him?
Well, I think the one that everybody mentions is most obvious, Francisco Lindor. I mean, I think that's the comp for DeVries. And if you kind of look at Lindor's numbers and at early age too, they're not that different. I mean, it's not like DeVries is lighting up the Midwest League right now, but he's an 18-year-old kid holding his own in the Midwest. Like that's he would be graduating from high school right now.
He would have just graduated from high school. He would have gone to prom. He would have gotten his diploma. He would have been drafted, and nowhere near would you have sent him where he is right now if he was an American kid.
And next year, he'll be 19 years old, and we'll probably see him in Double-A at that time. It'll be one of the youngest kids in Double-A. So, you've got to be excited about a prospect like that. You also have to look at the ages of these guys sometimes when you're looking at, well, what are they doing here? If you're that young, I mean, just to hold your own at that level. I mean, how much were you able to hold your own at 18 in any regard, So,
well, I mean, it's like anybody who's a switch hitting short. It could be Jimmy Rollins. It could be like, I'm just thinking of J-Roll. Like anybody like that is kind of the comp here, because Jimmy Rollins was 5'7", something like Jimmy Rollins was small. Guy. Was not very big.
And you don't have to be a big guy, to play short. And you see smaller guys. I was just talking to Colby Thomas earlier today too. You've seen he's not a huge, monstrous guy, but he led the minor leagues in extra base hits last year. He's got tremendous.
How tall is DeVries?
You'll have to look to tell me for sure. I don't want to
because he's not that small.
He's not that small, but he's not that big either. But you don't. The thing is,
it's amazing. Pops. I've looked at him so much; it pops up right.
What are you looking for?
He's 6'1", 183. So all of a sudden,
but and that's at 18. Remember,
that's at 18. So I mean,
look at how much Max Muncy has just changed since you've seen him too. Like how much bigger, stronger
when
he is.
Muncy first came to us as when Muncy took his first BP, he walked over. He looked like a high school. He looked like a little kid.
Exactly.
And now he's a grown man.
Yeah, it's a whole different. I mean, I never thought Max Muncy would be capable of hitting more than about 15 home runs a year in the major leagues. Now I look at him and see what he can do. He could hit 25 home runs a year easily if he played every day. So, these guys can grow and develop, quite a bit. And DeVries is still young. Hopefully he doesn't get too big to have to move off a shortstop, but he is an 18-year-old kid doing what he's doing, and that's impressive in and of itself.
How good is he defensively?
I think he's I think he's better than you would expect he would be at 18 years old. I think he can handle the shortstop position. Yeah, a lot of times, I mean, international prospects at 18 haven't learned anything about the fine points of defense, and he looks like he can hold his own there. And I think he's just going to get better. So I don't think he's going to have to move off of shortstop. You could if you want to, but I don't think it's going to be required. I think he's going to be able to play the position.
Long term, somebody's going to have to move.
It's a good problem to have, right?
No
I mean, Max Muncy had to move off of shortstop too. There are worse problems to have than too many good players at one position.
Well, and redundancy is not bad. Like, you want guys that can play because guys get hurt. So it is key to have players like, can you play third? Can you play second? Can you play center? Can you play right? Like, you need to just say, hey, we got one guy who does this. Well, if he goes down, what do you do?
We probably weren't expecting to see Darryl Hernandez playing shortstop for the A's this year, but it's a good thing they had him because they needed him, and he's come back and he's played well. Even on your show the other day, I tweeted about this the other day when you were talking to Kotze. He mentioned, well, there's been some thought about maybe Tyler Soderstrom learning third base in the offseason. Could be worse things to have happen, right? I mean, why not have that option? We've got plenty of young outfielders coming up, the Henry Boltes, the Colby Thomases. We've got a lot of these guys. We don't have a lot of third basemen that are ready to go, so that just having that option even, is an incredible thing to have for your team.
Is Tyler becoming the bat you always thought he would be?
Yeah, I mean, I think I and everybody else in the A's minor league system believe that he would always have the power. He always hit the ball hard no matter what. And the question with him is just, is he going to get on base enough? Is he going to have a good enough batting average? And I think this year he's shown he can hit the ball. He can not just home runs. He can hit enough to get on base and make himself really valuable. And his power, I think, is still developing. I mean, you could see easily him hitting 30-something home runs in a year.
Yeah.
It's
this year.
And he's young. I mean, he's still growing. He's still getting bigger and stronger. So his power has always been real, and I think he's learning the finer points of hitting now, which is just going to make him an increasingly valuable hitter going forward wherever he plays in the field.
You were down there when Mark Kotze was talking. Denzel Clark rehab Friday, probably in Vegas. Watch him take BP. I don't know, man. He looks ready to rock.
I know. That's why he looks like he's ready to go. And I think that's why they've got Mark Kotze said before the game here today that Denzel.
On A's Cast Live.
A's outfielder J.J. Bleday opened up about what he learned in AAA and how it's fueling his game during his appearance on A's Cast Live with Towny.
When I was down there, I had a chance to reflect, and I'll tell you, I didn't belong in AAA. I belong here, and I just got to keep telling myself that and believing in that and trusting in that. And like you said, just being the athlete that I am, and going out and competing and trusting it, and just having that mindset day in and day out, trying to prove yourself, and just stop putting expectations. Just go out and play and have fun with the boys.
You can watch the full interview at youtube.com/athletics or listen at athletics.com/A'sCast.
When it comes comes to knocking it out of the park, nobody beats Folsom Lake Ford. Folsom Lake Ford is a 7-time Triple Crown Award winner, Ford Motor Company's highest honor, for being the best in customer satisfaction in sales, service, and finance. Step up to the plate for our biggest selection of new Ford models, including the legendary F-150, on sale now. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters in the Folsom Auto Mall. FolsomLakeFord.com.
That ball is out of here.
Shea Langoliers joined Chris Townsend on A's Cast Live in West Sacramento to talk about stepping up and becoming a leader for the A's.
Maybe towards the end of last year, the end of 2024.
Yeah, it's something that just kind of happens. I like all of a sudden, guys start asking you stuff. You used to ask those questions. Now those questions are being asked to you, and it's kind of something that just gradually happens. And all of a sudden, you're kind of a guy people look up to, and I really noticed that. And you know, we understand when we have players in this situation, and like where you are right now, and the younger guys come up and they start bringing up your name. I start realizing, okay, we're starting to see that transition. Tell us what that's like. It's got to be a pretty cool feeling.
Yeah, it is kind of funny. Like you said, it's the questions I was asking when I first came up, and the questions that I'm getting from the younger guys now. And I'm not one to claim to know all the answers and have all the answers. Just be as honest as I can with them, what my experiences were, what I went through, what I thought helped me. And like I said before, everybody's different. Everybody's going to have, a different answer to what their question is. And I just, go off my experience and what I felt made me better, and then they adjust with that.
You can watch the full interview at youtube.com/athletics or listen at athletics.com/AceCast.
Streaming from West Sacramento, A's Cast Live continues with Chris Townsend.
Oh, I love it. September 13th, the Hall of Fame. I know if you're listening on the A's Radio Network or on A's Cast 650 KSTE, our partner in Sacramento, you didn't see that, but the big three, and then, of course, the great Monty Moore, where broadcasting was just so different back then, where the local radio guy got to be on the television national broadcast. And back then, when you had, whether it was baseball, football, your broadcast, there was only ABC, NBC, and CBS. So when you were on with Kurt Gowdy, a lot of people were watching. So Monty Moore got to do 3 straight World Series, and he was in millions of houses.
He was. And because of his exposure during that time, when the USA Network, it was a very fledgling network at the time, actually got an MLB Game of the Week. They had like a Tuesday night Game of the Week on USA Network. Monty Moore was hired as their play-by-play guy because people had known him from doing the A's games in the World Series.
Huge deal. So, and I'm glad we're finally getting him in. It
was odd because they had the Monty Moore Award, right? Remember we had that for a little bit, and but he was never put into the Hall of Fame. And then Bill was put in the Hall of Fame, and we said, well, Bill's going in. Monty was the A's broadcaster when they first came from Kansas City to Oakland. He was there for a long time, then came back again to do TV in the late 80s and the Canseco McGuire years. So very fitting that he's in the Hall of Fame.
I get Bill King. Sometimes it's recency bias. Sure. But, Monty Moore did 3 straight world championships.
He did.
Not to say back in the day was, but he did all those great teams. We're talking about one of the greatest runs in the history of the game.
And he was, again, hired in Kansas City, came with the team. He had to work with some different sort of an angle. He had to work with Jimmy Pearsall. He had to work with Harry Carey. He never had these, John Miller for 1 year.
Yeah.
It wasn't, but he was the constant. He was there the whole time. Charlie Finley hired him a bunch of times, but he was always there.
All right. 40 games left before we get into our top 10. What anything particular you want to see?
Well, it started with this series against the Tampa Bay Rays. 14 series left, starting on Monday night. If the A's won all 14 series, they'd win 28 games. And then 28 games would put them at 81 and 81.
Yeah.
And I still think that has to be the goal. You have to win tonight. You have to win this series tonight. And you have to win every series going forward, the next 13. But you're a 500 team if you do that. That should be the goal. Is it possible? Yes. Probable? No. But the schedule lines up. You still have, a couple Angel series. The A's need payback on the Angels for sure. They haven't beat them this year. You still have, the Cardinals. You have a tough series.
You got 2 against the Red Sox.
Those are the tough series. You have a Detroit series. You have a Houston series. You have a series in Seattle. It's not going to be easy, but that has to be the mindset. Win every series. You don't have to go and win 7 in a row.
No,
10
you got to win every series.
You got to win every series.
And it starts tonight.
The night's the biggest game of the year.
It can't happen unless you win tonight.
You got to win tonight.
But if you win tonight, it's still in play. 14 series. Got to win tonight. And then we say it's 13
series.
I like it.
And you go 26 and 13, you're 500.
Well, then, what were we looking at if you went 28
and 14? 28 and 14.
Well, if you went 30 and 11, you could get to 83 wins, and technically you'd be potentially in the playoffs.
Yeah, well, that'd be a great run, and I'd love to see it.
I don't know if you've been listening to A's Talk. We've been playing a lot of Jim Mora playoffs. We talk about playoffs. Excited about that. All right, so that's the one thing you want to see with 40 left. Win every series from here on out.
Win every series. You go back to the 2018 and 2019 A's when they made their wild card runs, especially in the second half.
97 wins for both teams.
That's how they did it. They did it by consistently winning series. And I think your mindset, again, we don't have to win 7 in a row or 10 in a row. Just got to win the series. Win 2 out of 3 the rest of the way. And it's all 3-game series from here on out. Just win 2 out of 3.
It's a couple things have happened lately. One was just with Bill Moriarty, because the last time we had him on live was in the treehouse.
Oh,
there's a lot of that was before COVID. That's now seeming like a long time ago.
Yeah. 2018, 2019, before the COVID years. That's a long time ago.
Seeming like a long time ago. All right, it is time for your historical top 10. We're going top 10 best lefties in A's history.
Yeah, best. It's National Left-Handers Day today, August 13th, International Left-Handers Day.
Yeah, I didn't know that. If you're lefty internationally, you're being celebrated.
You're being celebrated today because face it, you're different.
I'm not left-handed, so I wouldn't know.
No, because you're regular.
Yeah.
These lefties they're different, so they get their own days.
Far different humans.
So
they wear their hat crooked. I mean, everything they do is
they don't even think the doorknobs mess them up.
If you ever look at a left-handed pitcher or anybody who's left-handed and you look at their hat, it's crooked, but to them it feels like it's on straight. You go, no, I'm going to put it on straight. I had all these teammates. I go, let me put it on straight for you so it lines up. And then they go, no, that doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
You're odd.
They're just odd. But it seemed like the perfect day to celebrate.
Perfect.
The top 10 A's left-handed starters.
We had some lefty. We just had Jacob Lopez.
Well, exactly. Jacob Lopez is on this incredible run, 24 straight scoreless innings, 4 straight scoreless starts, only the 4th pitcher in athletics history, 125 years of athletics history, only the 4th starter to do that.
What do we have? Corey Lytle was the last one, 02?
Corey Lytle, Steve Olivares did it in 94, and then Jack Combs did it in 1910.
The great Jack Combs.
He did it in 5 straight.
Wow.
So
we weren't doing a pre and post game show back then.
So he had a bullhorn. He was yelling it out.
What's your honorable mention?
So this was tough. The top 9 for me were actually pretty simple. But when I got to the 10th, there's a whole bunch of guys who could be the 10th best, in my opinion. So that left us with a lot of honorable mentions.
Okay.
Brett Anderson. I know you're not a big Brett Anderson. Gio Gonzalez.
Love Gio.
The birthday boy, Dallas Braden.
It's
his birthday today.
You know what people don't remember, and I always like to bring it up to pump Dallas up? Dallas Braden has more complete games than that guy, Jacob deGrom.
So there you go.
So Dallas Braden would take the ball, and he would take it to the house.
He didn't want to give the ball up. And one day in Texas, Bob Guerin tried to take the ball from him, and he wouldn't let him have it. Literally would not come out of the game.
Love that.
I do too. Other guys, Tommy Malone, Carl Irvin, J.P. Sears. Now, for those wondering, El Paso's coming to Sacramento next week. So if you want to see J.P. Sears, you can see him right here back at Sutter Health Ballpark next
He'll
week.
be thrilled.
Yeah, he's going to be thrilled. Kenny Rogers.
The Gambler?
The Gambler, who was fantastic in the 90s, was undefeated
Couldn't
at the Coliseum.
lose, yeah.
Scott Kazmir.
I was his story of hot shot. Not everybody loved him for the Devil Rays, and then lost it. Went to the Sugarland Skeeters.
Yep.
They were independent. They're now the Space Cowboys, the AAA. But then he comes to us and resurrects his career, and he was a great guy.
He was all-star.
Great guy.
All-star. So he's honorable mention. Kurt Young.
Oh, what one of our all-time favorites
Right?
here on A's
He was,
Cast.
you know, obviously part of the A's starting five in the late 80s, part of that World Series
Great
winning
pitching
team.
coach for us.
And then was a great pitching coach and a great dude. Back in the early 70s, Dave Hamilton was a guy that, again, there's mostly a 3 to 4 man staff, and Dave Hamilton was your 5th starter on those teams. And then Jacob Lopez, what he's doing right now, he gets an honorable mention. I think he deserves it. But none of those guys made the number 10 spot.
We're talking top left-handers in A's history. There's some great ones.
There's some great ones.
Great ones.
There's Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
This one's not a Hall of Famer, but checking in at number 10. But when I crunch the numbers and you look what he did with the Athletics, Sean Manaea.
Wow. Didn't think you'd go there. We love us some Sean Manaea.
Sean Manaea acquired.
Talk about great human beings.
You know, acquired from the Royals for Ben Zobrist.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, you know, he was coming off an injury year.
He had the weird hip thing.
Yeah. And so nobody's sure what was going to happen. But he goes 50-41 with the A's from 2016 to 2021. 50 wins, 3 shutouts, threw a no-hitter against the Boston Red Sox, who at the time that April was the hottest team going. Shut them down. And if you think back to 2019, when we talk about their stretch to win the wild card, he went 4-0 down the stretch.
Came back at the end,
with a 1.21 ERA coming back from the injury. And in 2021, he comes back, makes 32 starts that year, 3.91 ERA, 194 strikeouts. I mean, just his body of work over those 6 seasons pitching for the A's, it's pretty outstanding.
You think about with Bassett, Montas, Cole Irvin, and you just think about these guys in that group. They had a special group, and Manaea was like that, just the fun-loving guy. Everybody loves Sean Manaea.
You know, I always remember during the COVID year in 2020 when the pitchers wouldn't sit in the dugout. They would sit in the stands, and they're in Seattle sitting in the stands. Him and Bassett, they got their jerseys all wide open with the deep V, and they're just cheering on their guys, and they're just having the best time.
Yeah.
So, it was pretty special, Sean Manaea as an A.
I love that one. Great person. And that no-hitter was against when the Red Sox that year they won the World Series.
Yeah.
Number 9.
Number 9, we're going way back. This is Rube Wahlberg. Now, there's going to be 2 Rubes on this list. This is the first Rube who pitched for the A's from 1923 to 1933. Part of the Philadelphia A's team, a key member of a rotation that went to 3 straight World Series, winning 2 of them. Had a 1.93 ERA in 5 World Series games.
Wow.
Just a dependable starter at that time for again, a great A's team. The 1929 A's might be the greatest baseball team of all time, better than 27 Yankees. And he was part of that team. 134 wins in his 11 seasons pitching for the A's, an ERA just over 4. But again, the way that Connie Mack used his starters, 412 games, 266 starts. Basically, on your day to throw, which would normally be a bullpen day today, you were in the bullpen to come into the game. And you would pitch on your day just to, throwing between starts. And that's
when
how they did
men were men.
Men were men.
I love that.
And Rube Wahlberg was a man of his time.
We're not wasting your bullets in the bullpen, son. You need to come out here and get some outs today.
Exactly. And it's kind of the way you think about teams using guys in the World Series and the postseason now. We've seen Randy Johnson come out of the bullpen. The A's did it with Tim Hudson. Because if it is your day to throw, why waste it? Let's get out there and get some outs.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you think about it, the Washington Nationals won a World Series doing that. Madison Bumgarner. I mean, Randy Johnson will always be that when he came out and the Yankees went, oh, God, we got to do this guy again.
Yeah. I mean, you got to use it. So that was the way that Connie Mack, he thought about it. And Rube Wahlberg had a great career with the A's.
I love it. Number 8?
Number 8, this is one of my favorite guys, Bobby Shantz. Bobby Shantz is going to turn 100 years old next month.
All right.
Bobby Shantz is 5'6.5". 5'6.5". When he was in the Army, his feet were too short to reach the pedals of the tank. So he couldn't ride the tank. So that was supposed to be his job, but his feet were too short. Couldn't reach the pedals.
That would seem like a problem.
Bobby Shantz was the American League MVP in 1952.
At 5'6".
At 5'6.5".
And a pitcher.
And a pitcher in an era with Mickey Mantle and Yogi Berra. In 1952, he went 24-7 with a 2.48 ERA, 27 complete game, 5 shutouts. 9.4 WAR. Now, obviously, they didn't know what WAR was back then, but they've gone back and said it and figured it out. 9.4 led the majors.
So they couldn't go to their baseball reference page or Fangraphs back then?
No, they realized that Bobby Chance was the best, not just the best pitcher in the league that year. He was the best player in the league, and the voters voted him that way. And this is a team that finished 16 games behind the Yankees, but they still looked at Bobby Chance at 24-7 as the best pitcher in the league, MVP, 5, 6.5.
And these men fought in war.
For Bobby Chance, 51 and 52, very good. Then he had some injuries, went to the Yankees, as most of the Kansas City A's ended up going. They ended up going to the Yankees. And was very good out of the bullpen for the Yankees for a long time. And again, he's going to turn 100 years old next month.
So we're sitting here complaining about the Delta Breeze. They fought in war and then won World Series, and we're worried about the Delta Breeze.
Exactly.
This is how I believe, okay? I'm from the old school. I believe this.
I mean, how soft are we?
Bobby Chance. Wow.
I like it. Number 7.
This guy dropped down in my list. He dropped down as I was looking at the numbers. And I was starting to get frustrated while I was looking at him. He's going to be here next month. He's going to go into the A's Hall of Fame.
I'm going to say it's Mulder.
It's Mark Mulder.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to disparage Mark Mulder. He's an A's Hall of Famer. He's number 7 on this list. He was a great A. What he wasn't great at was the postseason. And that's what kind of knocked him down for me. Because you look at him, he was 81 and 42 from 2000 2004.
That's
right? 81
and 42.
In 2001, his first full season, his second season, 21 and 8, 6 complete games, 4 shutouts, finished second in the Cy Young Award. Probably could have beaten out Roger Clemens that year if you really look at the numbers. 2002, he was 19 and 7. 2003, 15 and 9. Right, so he was an ace in the regular season. He was an ace. Postseason's a different story. He missed the 2000 postseason. Hurt his back in September. He wasn't even available to the A's in 2000. 2001, lost Game 5. 2002, lost Game 5. 2003, injured, not available. That's a problem. And now we go to 2004. 2004, he's having a Mark Mulder year. August 24th, he's 17 and 4, 3.72 ERA, dealing. His last 7 starts that year, the A's are fighting with the Angels to win the division. 0-4, 8.31 ERA, an opponent's batting average of 365. He forgot how to pitch. It was like he had the pitcher yips. He could not make the ball do what it used to do. It just lost him. It abandoned him. And the A's, of course, finished out of the postseason that year.
But he's still number 7.
He's still number 7.
Still great.
Because he was a fantastic pitcher.
Mark Mulder takes the ball. It's 2 hours and 15 minutes. And I remember when he was he was the second pick in the draft out of Michigan State. And you're like, you're taking a guy out of the Big Ten? Like, you remember that? It was like, really? Because we didn't know. We were all primitive back then, knowing prospects and stuff. But when he showed up, boy, did he look the part.
Well, I've told the story before. When he came to throw in the bullpen right before he signed, Mike McFarland, who was the A's catcher, catches the bullpen and then goes up to Billy Beane with a handful of pens and say, sign him now. Because he was that special. But just postseason, didn't get it done.
Number 6.
This was somebody who did get it done in the postseason. That's Ken Holtzman.
Oh, Kenny. He's 6?
He's 6. That's how good left-handers are in A's history.
I'll never forget when I interviewed him. And he would just go off on a question, right? And he would just go in different directions. And I remember he was talking about the pressure being Jewish. He had the pressure of being the next Sandy Koufax.
Yeah.
You think of all the great, especially African-American outfielders who were supposed to be the next Willie Mays. If you were a Jewish pitcher and left-handed, you're supposed to be the next Sandy Koufax. I don't know about you. Sandy Koufax is pretty good.
Sandy Koufax was really good and impossible to live up to.
Yeah.
But when Holtzman got to the A's, he fit right in. In the 4 seasons with the A's, 19 wins, 21 wins, 19 wins, 18 wins, 250 innings plus each season, 54 complete games, 13 shutouts. Started game 1 of all 3 of those World Series. 1973 throws an 11-inning complete game in the playoffs against the Orioles. 74 3 starts, 2-0, 0.86, has 2 doubles in the 73 World Series, and a double and a bomb in the 74 World Series. This is a clutch player. This is Ken Holtzman.
Yeah. Greatness. Playoff greatness.
Just
He came over from the Cubs, right?
Came over for the Cubs for Rick Monday, and just was that extra pitcher they needed to go with Hunter and somebody else we're going to talk about real soon. That version, the 70s big three.
Number 5.
Number 5 is Barry Zito.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's right. We got to get to some of the Hall of Famers from Philly. I forgot about that.
So Barry Zito, obviously the main time with the A's, 2000, 2006, came back in 2015, but 102 wins, 205 strikeouts in 2001, the Cy Young in 2002, 23-5, 6 straight seasons with 200 innings pitched, never missed a start. And then we talk about postseason, right? The first postseason in 2000, A's facing elimination in New York. He's a rookie. He wins an elimination game 4, beats Clemens. 2001, game 3. I know we don't like to talk about it. That's the Jeremy Giambi game, but 8 innings, 2 hits, only 1 earned run.
He was special.
Game 3 at Minnesota in 2002 when the A's needed to, there was 1-1 the series, 8 Ks in 6 innings. 2003, game 2 against the Red Sox is lights out for 7 innings. Game 5 against Pedro. He pitched well. He gave up the home run to Veritek and then the 3-run homer to Manny. Not great, but he still competed against Pedro. And then, of course, 2006, game 1, he beats the best pitcher in the world at the time, Santana. Yohan Santana with 8 innings and 1 run. He was a clutch postseason pitcher, and the Giants saw it themselves in 2012.
Yeah, I mean, when you go back to, because Vida didn't have, we'll get into Vida. Vida didn't have great postseason success. Obviously, you got Catfish, you got Stu, but I mean, Zito is one of the greatest athletic, especially Oakland A's pitchers.
He really
There's
is.
no question.
There's no question for what it is, his body of work. And again, that postseason, when he was in the mound in the postseason, you felt pretty good about your chances.
Number 4.
Number 4 is Vida Blue. From 1969 to 1977, 124 wins, 1,300 strikeouts, ERA under 3, 3-time All-Star, 4 times top 6 in Cy Young votes. Obviously, the MVP Cy Young year in 71. Again, these numbers are mind-blowing. 24-8, 1.82 ERA, 301 strikeouts, 24 complete games, 8 shutouts.
And was a star. He's on Time Magazine, Sports Illustrated. I had some kid here because I did something with Shooty at the beginning of the year where I said, Julio Rodriguez is not a superstar. Some kid tried to give me crap here. I'm like, a superstar? Vida Blue was a superstar. He was people not in baseball knew who Vida Blue was.
And that's the key, right? Everybody knew who he was.
Everybody knew who he was. All right, number 3.
Number 3, now the other Rube Waddell.
Rube Waddell,
now,
what a name.
You got to go. People read about Rube because he was the first lefty who was kind of weird. He did crazy things. There were stories about him running off the mound to chase fire trucks. Not quite true, but he loved firemen. He would go and actually help them fight fires. He known to miss a start or two because he was playing marbles or fishing. He was busy. He missed the 1905 World Series because he might have been injured or maybe some gambler to talk to him. There's some debate about that.
He was busy.
But he was like the first great strikeout pitcher of the American League. Over 300 innings in 3 of his 6 seasons, 2 300 strikeout seasons. This is at a time when batters didn't strike out.
Yeah,
they were embarrassed to
average,
strike out. They were trying to put the ball in play. Led the league in strikeouts all 6 seasons with the A's. Won the pitching triple crown in 1905. Hall of Famer in 1946, but read about him. His stories are unbelievable.
So, like, when he didn't show up, you couldn't call a cell. He was fishing.
He was off fishing, missing a start.
He was fishing. All right, number 2.
Eddie Plank, who was our first great starter for the A's, 1901 to 1914. In 7 World Series games, a 1.32 ERA, an 0.88 whip. He had 7 20-win seasons with the A's.
Oh, wow.
59 shutouts, 284 wins. Hall of Famer in 1946. He was the first great pitcher in athletics history.
And if we're going to do best lefties on Lefty International Day, number 1 has to be
Lefty Grove.
Robert
Grove. Moses Grove, lefty, who's got to start late. He was in the minors with the Baltimore franchise. They wouldn't sell him because he was so good and he was bringing in fans. Connie Mack wanted to purchase him and they wouldn't sell him. So he finally, when he makes the big leagues in 1925, he's already a 25-year-old. At that time, considered very old. But Lefty Grove, come on, 7 straight 21 seasons, 1931, 31-4, 8 World Series games, a 1.75 ERA.
Oh, man.
Never allowed a home run. 195 and 79 was his record. And again, if there were saves, he'd have over 30, almost 40 saves if we counted that stat. Because again, using him in those midweek between starts.
What an ultimate weapon. And this is the thing that we're all going to have to just get used to. I know the nerves are still raw, but when we talk about this franchise, we're going to have to talk about it. If you're in Philadelphia, if you're in Kansas City, if you're in Oakland, whatever we'll call this, you're going to have to say Sacramento, and then in the future, Vegas. And I know people are, they get weirded out. And if they, you can say the name Oakland. We were the Oakland Athletics. That's just a reality. I learned this with the Raiders. You were Oakland, you were then L.A., then you were Oakland, then you're going to be Vegas. But that's how the organization went. And you're going to be, you will be talked about based on where you played for the Athletics. And saying Oakland is okay.
It's okay. And I think it's great to celebrate the 125 years now of athletics baseball in these different places and the great players that have gone through. I knew we did a lot of Oakland lists, and they should have been Oakland lists when we were there. But now we got to look bigger and look at this whole franchise. And when you're talking about the great left-handers, Lefty Grove, Eddie Plank, Rube Waddell, people should learn about these players. They're fascinating to read about. They're all different, and especially Rube Waddell, very different. Lefty Grove, one of the greatest baseball players of all time, and he was ours. He was an A.
And the guys that we're going to be celebrating coming up here, was it September 13th on the Hall of Fame induction? When you think of Hudson, Mulder, and Zito, 2 of the greatest left-handers in our franchise history, we're going to celebrate out here.
We saw the big 3, and it's great that they're going in together. That's the way it should be. Hudson, Mulder, Zito. And Mulder and Zito, we had 2 great left-handed starters in those 2000s.
Nobody better than this man right here, David Feldman, our A's historian, who will be the official scorer for tonight's game.
I will be.
Because you got your uniform on.
Got the official uniform.
You got the patch. He's repping the league. And that'll do it for us. Coming up next, we're going to have Johnny and Ken Korak. And we want to thank Jacob Lopez, who was fabulous. Bill Moriarty from Athletics Farm. Feldy, great stuff as always. I will be back with Jessica Kleinschmidt at 6:30 for A's Cast on NBC Sports California. But coming up next, Johnny D and the Hall of Famer.
The A's YouTube page is your go-to destination for A's video content. Get access to great highlights, exclusive behind-the-scenes content, classic games, A's Cast Live, and more. Visit youtube.com/athletics.
This has been a presentation of The Athletics.